My unfaithful wife looked at me and said, "I'm done keeping secrets. Just so you know, I have a strong, lasting lover, and from now on he'll occasionally be spending the night here." I gave a calm smile and replied, "I doubt he'll be of much use to you, seeing as he's already lost his most important asset." I sat at the dinner table, coffee in hand, while my wife Claire lounged back in her chair with a smirk. She rolled the wine in her glass, staring at me with that smug little look I'd come to despise over the past few months. "I'm tired of hiding, so you should know I've been seeing a great enduring lover," she said as if she were announcing the day's weather. She set her glass down, eyes locked on mine. "And now he'll occasionally be spending the night at our home." My grip tightened on my mug, but I didn't give her the show she was hoping for. No shouting, no dramatic outburst, just a slow, steady breath. I'd already pieced it together. The late nights at work, the sudden fixation on her looks, the way she flinched from my touch while keeping her phone glued to her palm. I knew, but hearing her say it out loud, so brazen, so shameless, was still something different. She wanted a reaction. She wanted a scene. Instead, she got a faint, knowing smile. "I think he'll be useless to you," I said evenly, lifting my coffee to my lips, "considering he's already lost his main tool." Her smirk faltered. Her mouth parted slightly, confusion flickering behind her eyes. "What are you talking about?" I set the mug down carefully, leaned forward and met her stare. "You'll find out soon enough." Claire's confidence wavered for the first time. She had expected rage, pleading, maybe even a fight, anything but this unnerving calm. "What do you mean?" she asked, her voice just a touch unsteady. I leaned back and watched her shift in her seat. She thought she held the upper hand. That was her first mistake. "You'll see," I said, standing slowly. "Enjoy tonight. It's the last time things will feel normal." I left her sitting there, letting the paranoia begin to bloom. She had no clue what was on its way. I'd been preparing for weeks. The day I first sensed something was wrong, I didn't confront her. I studied. I documented her habits, planted hidden cameras, even tailed her once to confirm what I already suspected. Her so-called great enduring lover, a pitiful man named Daniel, had no idea that while he was sneaking into my home, I was tearing apart his life piece by piece. I found it all. His job, his past, his criminal record. It turned out Daniel wasn't nearly as spotless as Claire believed. His tangled finances, his softest vulnerabilities, the ones I was preparing to strike, and most damning of all, his medical files. That was when I discovered the flawless way to destroy him. The reckoning had begun. That evening, I feigned going to bed early, leaving Claire downstairs alone. As I suspected, she soon rose, reapplied her makeup, and sent a quick message. "He's coming." I watched through my hidden security feed as Daniel swaggered into my house like it was his own, smirking, brimming with confidence, unaware it would be the final error he'd ever commit. I let them settle in, let them feel untouchable. Then I hit send on the anonymous email. Moments later, the sound of sirens split the night. Red and blue lights flickered outside. Claire and Daniel had barely a heartbeat to react before the front door crashed open. Officers stormed in with weapons drawn. Daniel's face turned chalk white. "What the hell is this?" Claire shrieked. One officer slammed Daniel against the wall. "Daniel Carter, you're under arrest for fraud, embezzlement, and identity theft. You have the right to remain silent." I walked down the stairs slowly, deliberately. Claire spun toward me, horror etched across her face. "You," she whispered, "you did this." I smiled faintly. "Of course I did. Did you honestly believe I'd just let this slide?" She lunged at me, but an officer restrained her. "Careful," I said evenly. "You're still legally my wife, and when I'm finished with you, you'll have nothing left." Claire's entire world began to crack, and this was only the start. She stood frozen as Daniel was dragged away in cuffs, his protests drowned beneath the officers reciting his rights. Her face twisted, a storm of shock, rage, and fear. "What have you done?" she spat, her voice trembling. I leaned on the doorframe, arms crossed, watching the realization sink in that she no longer held any control. "Me?" I asked, feigning innocence. "I just let the law handle its business. Sit down, Claire. Your life is about to get very complicated." Her fists clenched. "You think you've won? That bastard will be out on bail before long." I chuckled, shaking my head. You still don't get it, do you? I wasn't merely watching you two sneak around, Claire. I was digging. And I found every shred of evidence I needed to make sure Daniel never walks away from this. Her expression faltered. I pulled my phone from my pocket and opened a saved file. Here, let me give you the full picture. Your so-called great enduring lover isn't just a cheating nobody. He's a predator, fraud, identity theft, a mountain of unpaid debts, and oh, look at this. Records of soliciting underage girls online. Claire's face went pale. You're lying, she whispered, but the tremor in her voice betrayed her doubt. I turned the screen toward her, letting her stare at the hard evidence. Screenshots, message logs, and bank transfers, all tied directly to Daniel's name. Tell me, Claire, I said, watching the panic creep into her face. What do you imagine will happen when the court learns you not only cheated with this man, but invited him into our house, introduced him to our neighbors, let him mingle with our friends? Think that's going to look good for you? Her hands trembled. I didn't know. You didn't care, I cut her off. And now you're going down with him, financial ruin and all. As Claire struggled to grasp what was happening, I kept pressing. Might want to check your bank accounts, I added, pulling out my own phone. Actually, never mind, they're empty. Her head snapped up. What? I shrugged. Remember that joint savings account? The one you assumed I was too clueless to monitor? I've been moving the funds for months. Every shady purchase, every dollar you spent on your affair. I tracked it all. And when I filed for divorce this morning, I made sure you'd walk away with absolutely nothing. She grabbed her phone, fingers shaking, frantically checking her accounts as the color drained from her face. You're lying, she said weakly. See for yourself, I replied calmly. Oh, and the house? That's mine. You signed a prenup, remember? You don't get a cent. She looked up at me, desperation in her eyes now. You bastard, you can't do this. I stepped closer, lowering my voice. I already have. Tears welled in her eyes. That smug confidence she wore when she first handed me that contract, gone. Now there was only fear. She had no money, no place to go, and soon no reputation. And I wasn't finished yet. The final blow. Now, Claire, I said, stepping back, I'd love to sit here and watch you unravel, but I've got places to be. You, on the other hand, have about 24 hours before the real fun begins. She wiped her tears angrily. What do you mean? I smirked. Let's just say you're about to be famous. Her phone dinged, then dinged again, over and over. Frowning, she opened her messages, only to see dozens of notifications pouring in. Screenshots of her affair, flooding family and friend group chats. The police report detailing Daniel's crimes. A leaked copy of the open marriage contract she tried to force on me, now viral and ridiculed online. Her breathing quickened as she scrolled through the chaos. You sent this to everyone, she choked out. Not just them, I said, heading toward the door. Your workplace, your family, our neighbors. Hell, even your yoga instructor. Hope you're ready to be the town's headline. I walked out, leaving her standing in the ruins of her own choices. I didn't look back. Claire's fall from grace. By the next morning, Claire's life was unrecognizable. She wasn't just the town's most despised woman, she was a laughingstock. The texts, the screenshots, the evidence of her open marriage proposal, it all spread like wildfire. Friends blocked her, family disowned her. Even co-workers who once admired her now stared with disgust. And the best part, her boss fired her. The company couldn't afford the scandal. Her great enduring lover was denied bail. Turns out being exposed as a predator doesn't sit well with judges. Divorce papers served. She had 30 days to vacate my house. And me, I was thriving like never before. Claire's desperation. She called me that night, crying, begging, "Please, we need to talk," she sobbed into the phone. I'm sorry, I made a mistake. Please, I have nowhere to go." I let her ramble, let her taste her own panic. Then I simply said, "Not my problem," and hung up. She sent a dozen messages. I ignored them all. She made this choice. Now she could suffer the consequences. Final chapter, her last mistake. By the end of the week, Claire tried one final move. She showed up at my door, makeup smeared, hair a mess, completely broken. "Please," she whispered, "I need your help. I don't have anyone else. I looked her up and down. The same woman who once smirked at me, thinking I was weak, now stood there pathetic and ruined. I smiled. So, what happened to your great enduring lover? She flinched. Gone, she murmured. He won't even take my calls. I chuckled. Yeah, neither will I. Then I shut the door in her face. She collapsed, sobbing. But I didn't care. She was dead to me. And with that, I walked away, leaving her to drown in the wreckage she built for herself. Was this revenge justified, or did it go too far? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. We'd love to hear your take, and if you enjoy jaw-dropping pro-revenge stories, make sure to hit that subscribe button and smash the like for more thrilling tales you won't want to miss. Every like, share, and subscription means the world to us. Your support truly keeps these stories alive.